on the road. What a win in tough conditions.
All right, as far as the injuries go, Patrick hurt his left knee. We'll get an MRI tomorrow or this evening, whenever they get him in there. And then Jalen Moore, likewise left knee. And then Thornton got hit in the head, and we'll just see where he's at, but he's in the protocol right now. Listen, all in all, we came up short. We on both sides of the ball and special teams, we had a few mistakes, and that ends up costing you against a good football team. I appreciate the effort of the guys and stepping up, and playing hard and aggressive. Some positions were backup guys to backup guys, and they battled their tail off. So that's appreciated. Our fans, we appreciate them showing up in the cold here and supporting us, best fans in the National Football League. So, but with that, we've got to do better. Get opportunities in the red zone, more field position. You got to take advantage of that. If it's special teams, we've got to create field position, and then defensively, we've got to maintain it. And so, in those cases, we weren't quite good enough in all three phases. And again, that's my responsibility to make sure that you don't have these kind of mistakes. And so, I'll look in the mirror first on this. Anyways, with that, time's yours.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Monday, December 15th, 2025. Stephen St. John here with Todd Leabo and Jake Gutierrez. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. The Chiefs lose at Arrowhead Stadium yesterday, 16-13 to the LA Chargers. So that ends their pursuit of a playoff spot. The Chiefs are eliminated. But despite that being a huge story, it's not the biggest story. Because the injury to Patrick Mahomes is all anyone really cares about after yesterday. Yes, there's disappointment at the finality of what happened, that the Chiefs, even though their chances were slim going into the day, no longer have any opportunity to get into the playoffs. And so that is a cold splash of reality to the faces of Chiefs fans everywhere. But we kind of saw that coming. That's not a huge surprise. Like I said, their backs were against the wall, and it was going to be an uphill climb to even get into the playoffs. And so there's no shock there. And as I told you, good people, last week, of the things that needed to happen for the Chiefs to get into the playoffs, I was most confident that the Colts would lose a couple of games, and they lost another game, and they're going to lose another one. So that part was going to work out. The Chargers, they have a tough schedule, and any road to the playoffs needed to start with the Chiefs beating the Chargers yesterday. And so if that were to happen, I didn't think it was beyond the stretch of imagination that the Chargers could lose a couple of more games after that. But the one thing that I was least confident in was the Chiefs' ability to win 4 in a row, win out, and get their way into the playoffs. And not only could they not win 4 in a row, they couldn't win 1 in a row. And so that ends the season. But losing Patrick Mahomes to a torn ACL is the gut punch of all gut punches. You know, like, hey, I'll be honest with you. You know, I'm a human being, and I do this show almost every day, right? Monday through Friday, every day at 6 a.m. And it's just human nature that even though I love sports, I grew up loving sports, I'll always love sports. Football, baseball, basketball, boxing. Love the Royals, love the Chiefs. There are days that I simply don't want to do this show because I don't want to talk about sports or specifically the topics of that day. And no matter who you are, no matter what job you have or how much you love your job, there are days you don't want to go to work. There are days you don't want to do your job, even though you love it, because you're human. We don't always feel good. Sometimes we're sick. Sometimes we've got things going on in our personal lives. Or sometimes we just wake up and stare at the ceiling and say, I don't want to get out of bed. And I experienced that today because I did not want to get up and drive into work and talk about Patrick Mahomes tearing his ACL. That sucks. And it's been a big enough chore to talk about this football team all season long because it's the same thing over and over and over again. Every once in a while they'd win a game and remind you that they could beat good teams and they might snap out of it. But for the majority of the season, we've watched this team shoot themselves in the foot, can't get out of their own way, make mistake after mistake, drop passes, penalties, blown coverages, mistakes, poor decisions, lack of execution, an ungodly amount of special teams penalties. This has got to be one of the worst special teams units that I've ever watched from any football team over the course of an entire season. Because they not only really don't make any big plays, but oftentimes they hurt the Chiefs because of penalty after penalty after penalty after missed kick, after this, after that, just one mistake after another. It's and so much we just focus on the missed kicks and how's the punter doing, but the coverage units, and anytime it seems like the Chiefs do get a good return, penalties here, penalties there, kill drives before they even start, put the offense in a bad situation over and over again. And so this team has been no joy to talk about. And I would think if he was being honest and if he indeed does what he said he's going to do and look at himself in the mirror, Andy Reid, he would have to be the first to admit that he has not done a very good job this year. This offense is stale. This offense does not put Patrick Mahomes in the best situation possible. This offense, we could do 4 hours on the issues with the offense. And look, Patrick Mahomes hasn't played his best football. But so many times, he's felt the weight of the world on his shoulders because if he doesn't get it done, nobody's going to get it done. And he doesn't trust the offensive line. And he sure as hell doesn't trust his receivers, and why should he? Because even if he does deliver a perfect football or a football that touches their hands, They may not catch it, but he's made his share of mistakes. You look, he's hurt right now, and that sucks. But we all have to admit, he's made some decisions and some throws that just leave you scratching your head, like yesterday.
Cost him 3 points probably.
You're in field goal territory late in the game, in a 3-point game, where you have to. And he's made this mistake before this year, and he's repeated this in the press conference. You know what? I can't take a chance there. I got to at least come away with 3 and tie the game. In that situation, you got to come away with 3 and at least tie the game. And he basically throws up a jump ball to, of all people, Kareem Hunt. Like he's Justin Jefferson. Like, why? Threw a ball, just threw a ball that you should throw if there's 5 seconds left and you have to have a touchdown and you just got to get rid of it and you're throwing the ball up to hope for a penalty or something.
You're not going to find Kareem Hunt on You Got Mossed.
No. But like, in that decision, you look at, like, what was that? And so Mahomes is not immune from criticism. But he's the least of the problems. And he'll be the first to tell you he hasn't played his best football at times and made some mistakes. But my God, he's had to do almost everything at times. He's had to overcome bad play calling, inconsistent receivers, a shuffling of offensive linemen that has led them to play who at tackle?
Chu Godric.
Who's out there right now protecting him or not protecting him? He's had to see his trusted tight end bobble footballs that have turned into interceptions. Rashee Rice has turned into a guy, or at least a football player, that you absolutely cannot trust. He might catch a football, but he might not. And it seems like the bigger the situation, the less likely he's going to catch it. And so
he got put in some tough spots yesterday, too. He got lit up a couple of times. They're just nothing smooth and according to plan about nearly anything the Chiefs have done this year.
And this is why they're 6-8. But even yesterday, they had an opportunity to, at the very least, tie the game at the end, or maybe even win it. And Mahomes out there running for his life, trying to make a play, gets hurt, tears his ACL. And then Gardner Minshew comes in, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know how anyone else felt or what the experience was like at home watching on TV, but I'm sitting in the press box next to Leabo, and I'll just be perfectly honest with you. And this is bad, but it's the truth. I didn't give a rat's ass of whether or not they were going to win that game or tie that game or anything else. When I saw Mahomes with the towel over his head being helped into the locker room, that was it for me, because even if they win that game, they're done. Without Patrick Mahomes, they're done.
Yeah.
And you just had the feel of that. And then when I saw the replay, I just put my head down, and, I've seen enough of those to where I thought it was an ACL, but if it wasn't an ACL, it was something
very
bad.
Slim glimmer of hope, because he has had some weird things happen to his ankles.
Well,
and his knees.
I'm glad you did. I had no hope,
but it was a 0.5% of a glimmer, and
I didn't have that much.
Listen, I'll say this: I'm glad the news is out there. I'm glad we're not waiting around for some Zoom and say the guys are just getting in.
Well,
they got the Zoom. And
he took the bull by the horns and posted
and then the Chiefs
a statement.
Had to.
Well, yeah.
Mahomes,
they're not going to tell Mahomes what to do. When he finds out, he's going to. And when he put that, I'll read it here in a little bit. When he put that post on X, you knew, it's torn. It's something bad.
Yeah.
And so, I wish I could say I shared your optimism. But
I don't think I would call it optimism.
I did not.
I wouldn't call it optimism. But he is someone who has had some weird things. And I expect this. I expect him to attack rehab to the best of his ability and he has always been able to pop back from injury and do all those things. But it is the middle of December. This is not the ideal time to go hurt your knee, These used to be a one-year deal. They're not a one-year thing anymore. And he's not a running back. He's not a defensive end or a wide receiver who's got to do all these things. I think it's probably a little bit easier to come back as a quarterback, but
he plays
when is he going to play
football in a way that is different than other quarterbacks, and one of the best things about him is his mobility and his ability to move around in the pocket, make something happen that's not there, pick up crucial yards with his legs when everyone's covered or when the play breaks down, which is a lot, which happens a lot. He's running for his life a lot because this offense is not good. The scheme is not good. The play calling is not good. There needs to be major changes. So, but I'm with you. I mean, they call him a competitive prick for a reason. No one will attack the rehab with more ferocity than Patrick Mahomes. And we'll talk to someone that's worked with him, Aaron Borgman, who's been on the show several times as our injury expert. And you could follow him on X, and he had a lot to say about it last night. Rehab All-Star. He was on NFL sidelines with the Chiefs and Eagles for 12 years. He's worked with Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to be on the show at 7:30. And just basically separate fact from fiction. Because, I mean, you already had people out there last night speculating whether or not Mahomes would play in 2026. And I'm like, take a step back.
It's all guesswork.
Go touch some grass. All right? Let's hear from someone who knows what they're talking about before asking dumb questions on social media. Let's at least hear what someone who's worked for an NFL team, who's worked with this specific player, and can at least give us some initial expectations. And look, until we know the extent of the damage, whether it's just an ACL tear, it's all guesswork. But I want to talk to Aaron Borgman and at least just, talk about what happens next and give us more of a timeline. Because he knows what he's talking about, because he's been there and done that. And he's worked with Patrick Mahomes before as well, and worked with the Eagles and the Chiefs. We'll also talk so that'll happen at 7:30. Pete Sweeney will be in studio for that. And I wanted to have that at 7:30 so people driving to work and kids driving to school or getting driven to school can hear, because I think that's the most important thing. And Pete can ask his questions if he wants as well. But Aaron Borgman will come on at 7:30. Then Scott Carroll, good friend of the show, will be in at 8 o'clock. And then Chiefs Hall of Famer Bill Moss will give us his thoughts at 9:05. And so it's just awful. It's just awful. And I know that, again, the unrivaled negativity of social media, it's hard to have any optimistic outlook about this because it's so fresh in our minds and it just happened. But let's all just take a step back. We'll listen to what Aaron Borgman has to say. I'm sure we'll get plenty of updates on what's happening with Patrick Mahomes. If the Chiefs don't update us, he will. He's pretty open and honest with everything. And like I said, he gave the indication that something serious was wrong last night when he made that post on X. And that was sad too when I saw that. Because I happened to be on my phone right when he posted it. And I read it and reposted it. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, he posted early in the evening at 5:43. So they wasted no time. Don't know why this had to happen. And not going to lie, it hurts. But all we can do now is trust in God and attack every single day over and over again. Thank you, Chiefs Kingdom, for always supporting me and for everyone who has reached out and sent prayers. I will be back stronger than ever. So then you knew right there this was something serious.
Yeah, and then a little bit later, the Chiefs sent a post out. So unusual for them to do that. This is an unusual situation, but he'd already put it out, like you said. So because they do, listen, a lot of teams play.
He put it out, and he's the most famous football player in the world. So.
Yeah. Then they have to follow along.
They can't play these games they've played with other players.
Yes.
Okay, because if it was up to them, he'd be day to day for the next month.
We'll see.
You laughing over there?
We'll see. We're just gonna have to see on that.
Right.
We'll see. I'll get that to you.
Right. But Patrick Mahomes took that away from them, thankfully, and then they posted injury update on quarterback Patrick Mahomes, and MRI has confirmed the Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes sustained a torn ACL in his left knee in today's game. Patrick and the club are currently exploring surgical options.
Now, what Jake would say is just wait. How long do you wait before you get your knee surgery? Till the year rolls over?
I don't think Mahomes had the insurance issue. Also,
you don't think?
No. Also, I was traveling for CBS, and that would have cut.
Didn't have time.
That would have cut my season short.
Didn't have time. So little time. We were sitting there yesterday watching this game, and the Mahomes thing is devastating because it's the one. But I think the athletic training staff must have gotten 10,000 steps yesterday. They were on and off that field multiple times. Jalen Moore, Nick Bolton, Rashee Rice, Tyquan Thornton. It was unbelievable. Watson. I just got the game book out and I searched the word injured because they always put that in the game book thing. It was 17 times it appeared there, and like 14 of them were actual injuries, 13, and 11 of them were Chiefs injuries. It was incredible. If you go back 3 weeks ago and search that word in the game book, that'd be 3, something like that. It's unbelievable that you mentioned all the things that have gone wrong with his team. That one drive, the first drive of the third quarter, there was like 5 out of 6 plays where a Chiefs defensive player got hurt during the game. And there's no excuses for the fact that this team is 6-8. But I don't think. I mean, they're sitting there. It was Nick Bolton. They're sitting there running different helmets onto people back and forth, trying to do things. What a disastrous, messy football game yesterday. Just all around. And I don't know how the kingdom feels, but it's almost a relief that there's no playoff hopes at this point now, and people are done trying to justify in their own heads some way to find a way for this team to go make the playoffs, because this was not a playoff team. And I don't know what this next 3 weeks is going to look like for them playing. But they have to play the games. They have not been in this spot in Kansas City in a long time. They got to take care of these 3 games, as Andy said. However they're going to do that, interesting. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a joyous Christmas celebration out there. The Broncos come to town. It is sad night, sad week for Chiefs fans right here.
Boy, and if you think the mood of the locker room, you heard us describing that the previous week, was sad and devastated.
Take it down a notch.
Nothing compared to what we experienced yesterday, and nobody was talking. Nobody was talking.
Got a few, though, didn't you? Couple?
Sure.
Couple.
Whatever, bro.
Most interesting moment in the interview room was when Chris Jones did not know that they were eliminated from the playoffs and had to learn from the media.
Right.
He looked very sad when he learned that. He was
in.
Still holding out the hope.
And look, and you guys can do this, because I probably just don't have the energy to do it, and I really don't want to, because I'm more focused on the Mahomes injury, so I can't generate the outrage or generate the anger about some of the things that I normally would, like if Mahomes hadn't got hurt and they just lost this game.
Like allowing a touchdown drive in 20 seconds in the first half.
Well.
Normally would make you mad.
Why Isaiah Pacheco starts and why they keep giving him the football And I don't
It's one of my
know,
favorite things to do during the game, is to mention that to you.
because I get so pissed off.
He does.
11 carries for 21 yards. They had kind of found something. They had found a rhythm with Kareem Hunt, and they just I have no explanation. I've seen very few running backs with worse field vision than Isaiah Pacheco. They just can't wait to run up someone's ass, just run right into the back of somebody. I can't. And they start him, and they keep giving him the ball, and it's the last 2 weeks.
They need an upgrade at that position.
So desperately, and so desperately, and I can't. When Minshew comes in, gets him out of a 1st and 20 situation, completes a couple of passes, gets a first down, gets him into field goal territory. And again, I was more concerned about Mahomes, but what was that pass that was intercepted?
Following a delay of game.
You're in field goal territory. Yeah. All right? This is the time you go conservative and run the ball a couple of times and give the most expensive kicker in the NFL a chance to get him into overtime. It's like, again, it's like I don't like so poorly coached and poorly prepared. It's amazing. And I just looked at it and go, what was that? What are they doing?
Horrible.
I said, okay, but you know what? Though,
put
you
us
know
out
what?
of the misery.
You know what? I take it back because they'd have ran it with Pacheco, and that would have got no yards.
Then the game could have gone overtime.
Still
Ended in
at
a tie.
57-yard field goal.
Hey, got to delay a game. That was good too. Dude, the list is so long of little things that have happened this past month with this team during games that time to hit the reset button.
Good luck.
Yeah,
There's a lot to reset.
lots.
This has even pushed me, and here we go. And I'll break with this because I'm not going to give Jake a chance to respond. This has now pushed me, yes. And here it is. 6:34 a.m., Monday, December 15th, in the year of our Lord 2025. Yes, I will accept my Kansas City Chiefs drafting a running back in the first round.
Oh!
I see what other running backs do for other teams, and I want that for me. And I want that for Kansas City. And if that draft pick is named Jeremiah Love, I will accept. I will accept him.
Take it.
How about Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Well, no, because he's
They
not in
already
this
have
draft.
him. They have him already.
And if you draft scared, okay, so they drafted Trezell Jenkins at one point so we should never want an
you
offensive
said you weren't going to talk about this.
This regime didn't draft Trezell Jenkins.
Okay.
He could have had Taylor in the second round, and he's pretty good.
Jeremiah Love is not Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
No, but
Okay, if I said someone specific. If it's Jeremiah Love,
that's fine.
Would you like would you like Jahmyr Gibbs? Would he be good on this team? If you knew you could draft Jahmyr Gibbs again, would you take that in the first round, or would you say no because that's a first round pick?
No.
They thought they did when they drafted Clyde.
Because I'm willing to say this: the NFL has changed since the Chiefs drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yep.
The NFL has changed.
It has.
I'm not. They need other things, but if it's Jeremiah Love, sign me up.
Well, let me know what wide receivers available at that position when they draft Jeremiah Love. I think you spend a first-round draft pick on
we
a
got
wide
a lot of time to
receiver.
talk about the
Yeah.
draft, okay?
Yeah,
Come
we
on.
do.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I mean, just look. That's an argument for another day, but
You ready to argue?
James Cook's pretty good running back. He wasn't in the first round.
yeah. Well, great, but the idea of getting a dynamic running back should be on the table.
Yes, absolutely, 100%,
Okay.
1,000%.
We could sit here and play games and this guy was drafted in the first round, this guy wasn't. As long as they get a guy, a
Listen,
dynamic
I can't have
running
you guys
back.
arguing about this. I want you guys to
I'm just
hug. It's the
telling you.
holiday season.
And I didn't say a running back. I said Jeremiah Love.
Give me
I'm
him.
being specific about a certain running back with a certain skill set that could transform this offense because he is elite.
Wait a year for Ahmad Hardy.
I'm not going to be Nate any running back. I'm telling you a specific running
This
back.
one.
Yes.
He's not going to get hurt in a bowl game.
There you go. He'll be
They
fresh.
took care of that.
We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB. What's up, Kansas City? Stephen St. John here, and you probably have some wonderful family get-togethers that you're going to be attending coming up soon. And if you want to be the star of your get-together, the star of your family gathering, then you need to bring Boda Box, because that will Bodify your beverage choice. Boda Box wine is the ultimate addition to your party. This premium wine comes in a box, so it fits perfectly in your cooler or trunk, and there's no heavy glass or corkscrew to deal with. 1 3-liter Boda Box is equivalent to 4 regular bottles of wine, so it's great for sharing. Whether you're grilling out in the parking lot and getting ready to have a tailgate party, or whether you're watching a game from your couch, or just having a family get-together for the holidays, Boda Box will take your time up a notch, and it stays fresh for 30 days after opening. Bring the wine that wins with Wine Critics, with more than 50 gold medals and 50 Best Buy awards from wine enthusiasts. Boda Box. This is how we Boda.
Yeah, well, we got to take care of business the next few games. So, I mean, I'm just coming off the field. My mind was on this game here and taking care of it there, and you know, I wanted to come out different, obviously. So I haven't gone too much further than that.
Welcome back to the show. And again, we don't have very much sound after the game because players weren't talking, which is fine. I didn't think anybody would. But Leo did, and Brian Cook did, and hell, half the team was hurt.
Jalen Watson. Yeah, there's so many guys hurt. You know, I mean, before the game, like Trent McDuffie didn't play yesterday. You know, they probably now these games don't. No, man, we're going to talk to Andy today on a Zoom. I'm sure they haven't formulated exactly how they're going to operate these next 3 games, but Trent McDuffie shouldn't play anymore this year if there's any chance he's going to injure himself.
Hell
more.
no, he shouldn't play.
Trey Smith shouldn't play anymore.
No.
You know,
Shut them all down.
all of them. You know, we look out there yesterday. Jalen Moore got hurt on the second play of the game. Chu Godric goes out there. So now you got Chu Godric, Kingsley Suamataea, Creed Humphrey, Mike Caliendo, and Esapole out there playing. You know, it really – they have had some major offensive line issues the past couple of years. It's amazing they made the Super Bowl last year. And looking back, maybe it's amazing they've won 6 games. But for a while, it looked like they kind of had everything fixed on the line. And then, you know, Josh Simmons goes AWOL for a bit, and then he gets hurt. Juwan Taylor gets hurt. Trey Smith gets hurt. It's really this. We've talked about this a few times over the last maybe 5 years because they've played so many games. I honestly think this organization needs a nice long off season, and they're going to get it this year. And it actually starts a little early because the off season, they have to take care of these 3 games, as Andy Reid says. But the off season is going right now, really. You know, so see how they go. There's a lot of decisions have to be made.
Look here.
We don't know if Travis Kelce's going to come back and play. I mean, all that. I don't know.
They're eliminated. They need to utilize this opportunity to play some younger players and find out about them.
Yep.
So, again, if they roll out there and we're getting a healthy dose of Isaiah Pacheco, I'm going to scream. And I don't know if I'll watch anymore. Over the next 3 games, Brashard Smith needs to play a lot.
Yeah, he needs to carry the ball.
And just find out what you have in him. Okay? I remember when they signed Dameon Pierce. So according to the Chiefs, he probably won't learn the playbook in time. Maybe by 2026, he'll learn the playbook where they can give him a carry. Because you don't want to take Pacheco off the field. You know, it'd be hard for Pierce to match that production. And so, I mean, 3 games, at least 40 touches in 3 games or more for Brashard Smith. Get Jared Wiley on the field and find out if he's going to be one of the answers moving forward at tight end. There's plenty of players. Jalen Royals was active finally.
Yep.
Get him out there and see if you have anything in Jalen Royals. Okay? And so,
you know, McDuffie didn't play yesterday. We got to see some Noah Williams out there. Need more of it. Got to see more of that.
And look, this is also an indictment of the recent drafts.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, I know Jake's dead set against running backs and uses the, you know, example of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We can use a recent example.
I said in the first round.
With
Listen, we're not going to fight, guys.
Felix
It's gonna be okay.
Uzama, does that make you not want to draft a defensive end again? Because that's a bust. That's bigger than Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I'm not dead set against drafting a running back.
In the first round.
In the first round.
In the first round.
In the first round. I'd even second round's fine. Third round's fine.
I'm just saying if there is a Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs or a guy that can change this entire offense, I'm open to it. Because the NFL has changed and the needs of this football team has changed, even from 5 years ago.
And that's one of the wild things here. Like
And
they've got 6 wins right now,
Right.
and they're playing 2 of the worst teams in the league over these next couple, right? Nick, this week and in the final week, there's a big difference between winning 8 games and 6 games and where you draft. So, I mean, this tanking is not something that happens in the NFL like this spot, but quiet tanking if you play all these other young players and you lose a game.
No, it's not tanking. You've got to find out about what's on your roster.
But you'd much rather not win another game this year for the draft.
Fine, but if they win some games because they're evaluating younger players,
I'd be happy
and
if they beat the Broncos.
If these players
Now that would be fun.
show something,
Maybe lose the other 2.
like I wouldn't be disappointed if they won a game because Brashard Smith had 14 carries for 87 yards, and he could be, or Jalen Royals had, a big
5
game or
catches
something like
yeah.
that.
Had a ball thrown towards him.
But like you mentioned drafting wide receivers, they got to change the type of receivers they draft. We don't have to go back very far for a first-round pick wide receiver. That was Xavier Worthy. How do we feel about him right now?
Ask Garrett Dieter.
You want to draft him again? They have to change the type of receiver. We've had Jeremy Fowler tell us that every week. They need a different type of wide receiver.
Yeah.
They drafted Jalen Royals in the 4th round, and he is.
No, he was active yesterday.
MIA.
Finally.
He was active yesterday because Hollywood Brown was inactive for personal reasons. So that's the only reason he got to be active, right?
So I'm not real, and they drafted Rashee Rice. But Rashee, I don't think I view Rashee Rice the same way I did.
It's very difficult
last year
to entirely grade Rashee Rice. It really is. He had a nice rookie year, did some nice things, got hurt, had all the off the field stuff, hasn't been. It's a weird grade. You have to try to evaluate what you've gotten out of him.
I mean, 2nd round pick Sky Moore. They're
Yeah. Dude, they have done what they've done in spite of their drafts at wide receiver.
Mahomes has covered up a lot of
messes,
a lot of holes.
He ain't going to be there to do that the next month.
And maybe that's what they got to have. That's what they got to see. That's what they got to see. And again, Jake and I are much closer of the opinion on this than far apart.
I want you guys to be close.
But I'm telling you, if there is a certain type of running back, in the past I'd say no to it. They can't say no to it.
Your eyes are opened.
Yeah. But I'm talking about someone specific.
Yeah.
They can't. And I don't know where they're going to draft, and I don't know where Jeremiah Love's going to fall, and it could end up where they never have a chance to draft him. But if they do, I'd be down with it. I'm open to it. In the past, I wouldn't be. But they can't do things the way they've always done it.
Time to reevaluate.
And when you're going to the Super Bowl every year, there's a reason to be arrogant, and there's a reason to be stubborn, and there's a reason to step back and say, hey, this is the way we do things. We're above criticism.
Don't worry about it. It works.
But when you don't make the playoffs, and they were on their way to not making the playoffs with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, and you've wasted a year of his prime, then you need to take a step back and reflect on what you're doing wrong, and you need to figure out a way to change the course of what's happening right now. And they need to figure out what went wrong with this offense. They need to draft better. They need to be better in free agency. And they need to understand that in the blink of an eye, Patrick Mahomes will be 36, 37 years old, and we'll be talking about life without Patrick Mahomes permanently. Right now, we're talking about life without Patrick Mahomes for the foreseeable future, and that's scary enough. We'll take a break. Back into this on WHP. What's up, Kansas City? Steven St. John here for DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Missouri, you are live with DraftKings Sportsbook, and now you can make every game even more exciting with same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more, all from your phone, all safe, secure, and easy to use. Missouri fans know all about game day, and now you can bring that same energy to every snap, every touchdown, every win with DraftKings Sportsbook. And new Missouri customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, no nonsense, just pure action powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. New customers in Missouri bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 810WHB. The crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Sports Radio 810.
What's up, Kansas City? Steven St. John here from my friends at Hy-Vee. And you know what? Hy-Vee is the best place to go during holiday season because they have gift options for everyone on your list. Chiefs apparel, gift baskets, charcuterie boards. I like that. Or wine and spirits. Hy-Vee also has a huge range of retail gift cards to choose from. Right now, for every $100 that you spend on select retail gift cards, you'll get a $10 Hy-Vee gift card for free. How about that? For every $100 you spend on select retail gift cards, you'll get a $10 Hy-Vee gift card for free. Can't beat that. So when you are looking to cross some names off your wish list for holiday shopping, go see my friends at Hy-Vee and tell them SSJ sent you. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Patrick Mahomes has a torn ACL. The Chiefs are eliminated from the postseason after their 16-13 loss to the Chargers.
Other than that, how's it going?
The Royals made a trade that I love. A really, really good trade. And we'll talk to Scott Carroll more about it in the 8 o'clock hour. But I just, and trust me, I really was looking forward to talking about the trade today, but I don't think anyone wants to hear about it. And so I'll try to chat with Scott Carroll about it, but I don't think anyone gives a rip. So I do appreciate you texting me and asking me. You made me feel important, asking me my opinion, and I hope I gave you some good info right away.
Made me feel good about it.
Because Isaac Collins is someone that was a thorn in my side.
He's never been about a bing.
Well, he came out of nowhere, and again, the Royals traded left-handed reliever Angel Zerpa,
who we like a lot, but
to the Brewers for outfielder Isaac Collins and relief pitcher Nick Mears. And I'll be honest with you, when I saw, because first it was reported the Royals were getting Isaac Collins and Nick Mears, and I said, well, do you know what I said to myself? Well, there's where Bubic is going.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they give up
and
a lot.
So, I said, okay, I can deal with that. If this is what they get for Bubic, I can make sense of that. But then when I saw it was, and nothing against Angel Zerpa, but he's a reliever, and I think he's unhittable at times, but can be inconsistent. If you told me that the Royals were going to go out and get a guy that could very well be the left fielder for the next couple of years, and they've got team control for 5 years, and another reliever who could be a good piece in this bullpen, who had a sub-1 whip, and you gave up. I don't want to say all you gave up, because there is a lot of value in baseball for left-handed relievers. But still, if that's, I'd have been thrilled.
You take it.
Because when I saw
you get
the return, I thought, I'm not downplaying Zerpa, but I'm like, that's it.
Come on.
You know, Isaac Collins, he's a late bloomer, and so that takes some of the shine off of him for some people. But he finished 4th in the NL Rookie of the Year voting. He's got a high on-base percentage. He's a switch hitter. He's a good fielder. He can steal bases. He's and there's some people, he's still not good enough. He is such a dramatic improvement. It's almost hard to put into words how much better he is than what they put out there.
You didn't feel like they got very much out of the corner outfield last year.
I don't. And so I thought that was an extremely shrewd and savvy move that, along with Lane Thomas, they still have room to add. They're going to go out. They need to go get another lefty reliever to replace Zerpa. I think they're going to do that. But I still think the door is open for them to add another hitter. But that's simply a deal you can't pass up. And the Brewers have a log jam at outfield, and they could move him. And for the Brewers, they're looking for certain pieces that they think can help get them over the top. And for them, an impact lefty reliever that's a certain necessity that they felt like they had to get. And I expect him to be very good with the Brewers, and I think they'll be very happy with the return. And they had a surplus of outfielders, but the Royals took advantage of it, and I thought it was an excellent deal. We'll take a break. When we come back, Pete Sweeney.
You zinning up, Pete?
We'll talk to Aaron Borgman. It's going to be a star-studded 7 o'clock hour right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
New Day with SSJ is brought to you by Walker Medical Linen Service. Locally owned, HLAC certified, and trusted by Kansas City's top hospitals and clinics. Walker Medical Linen Service. Clean you depend on. Online at walkermls.com.
Here we go. Come on, Todd, let's go to work.
You gonna tap out? Before you start?
I'm about ready, right, at this point. This is it. We're done. Done with any meaningful work this year.
That's not true.
How about John Cena fans verbally assaulting Gunther as he was trying to make his way to his car? These people were pissed.
Welcome to D.C.
Right.
It's wild outside that White House.
He was tapping out. He was letting go of his career. It was symbolism. Don't they get it?
No. You don't think they got the nuance?
I got
It
it.
should have just faded to black, like
And you don't know what
Like the
happened?
Sopranos?
yeah.
Not fade. Hard.
just hard black.
Bang.
Does he tap?
Straight cut to black.
Does he tap out or
black.
not?
All the lights off in the arena too, and they turn him back on. He's not there. We should write that.
Pete,
Goodbye, John.
I've tried to use words to describe yesterday.
Use your
and
talk.
I failed miserably.